My name is Holger Lösch. I represent the Federation of German Industries, the umbrella organization of all industrial associations in Germany. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. Energy is one of my topics. The most important goal of my association was that the property rights of the companies should be preserved, even though their business activities would be terminated prematurely. An even bigger goal was that energy security should be secured for Germany despite a coal phase-out. And an additional question that arose: how can we support the people in the affected regions? How can we generate added value there in the future? Surprisingly, it ended up being the actual year for the phase-out to be completed. In the end, it was the year that led to the biggest discussions. What year will coal-fired power generation in Germany end? That was the question that almost led to the collapse of the negotiations on that last legendary night. The Commission dealt with the demonstrations and protests. We visited the coalfields and saw 25,000 miners protesting there. We also attended the Fridays for Future demonstrations. We usually met at the Ministry for Economic Affairs and had to go through the different protesting groups before the meetings. I don't think this influenced our work content-wise, but I do believe it showed us the social implications of this compromise and how important it is to find a solution. Especially in the coalfields, it was clear that the future of entire regions and the people who live there are at stake. And in this respect, it has certainly made us aware of the importance of our task. I remember a moment when I thought it had failed, when one of the members, after a break in the negotiations, sat on the edge of his chair with his jacket on and his briefcase packed, looking as if he was about to go home. That did not turn out to be the case. The problem was with the environmental movement. They were in constant exchange with outsiders. We, as an association, did not have this problem. I have to say, quite frankly, we knew roughly what we wanted, and we had the mandate for it. On the last night, numerous compromises had to be made. Some members of the federal government made it clear to the environmental movement that there was no point in letting the whole thing collapse because of 1 or 2 years, more or less. And so, in the end, a decision was reached. Das Fast-Scheitern kann man nur verhindern, indem man ruhig bleibt. You can only prevent failure by staying calm. Such negotiations are always characterized by clarity and toughness in the right places. And in other places, it is about understanding and accepting the mindset of the counterpart and the conditions under which they negotiate. If you go into such negotiations trying to make the biggest decision first, you will always fail. You have to work your way from the easy questions to the difficult ones. Breaks are important. One-on-one meetings. Going outside with someone. Mal eine Pause zu machen, mal Einzelgespräche, mal mit einem rausgehen. I don't think anyone lost out in this coal commission. The process was very diverse and there were many possibilities to find compromises on the individual issues. If someone had felt they were losing, a solution could not have been found. What I find much more difficult in retrospect is how the politicians dealt with our result. Which parts were actually implemented? And some answers are missing. For example, a clearer consideration of security of supply. That was always an important point for us. What will security of supply look like without coal and nuclear? The most important result of the Coal Commission is that there is an end date for coal-fired power generation in Germany, which has since been revised again politically. We also succeeded in finding reasonable solutions for the ownership of companies. There will be no expropriation without compensation. And the third result is the consensus that exiting coal only makes sense if it marks the beginning of something new. And by that I mean all these considerations about how the affected regions can continue to offer new value creation and be a home worth living in for people.
Eine neue Wertschöpfungsstruktur, eine Lebenswürdigkeit für die Menschen dort auch kriegen.